I love that one of these gifts that Jonathan gives David is his robe. It wasn't just a robe. David shows up stinky like sheep. David shows up dirty because he had a good work ethic. I mean, he'd been out slaying bears and lions and looking over sheep and playing guitar, and he was a musician. We all know how stinky musicians can be, right? He shows up, he's like, he is just a mess. And he shows up, and Jonathan says, hey, why don't you have one of my robes? Because my robes are royal robes. Let me clothe you in royalty. So here's David having to learn, listen, a new lifestyle. How else would he have learned? Saul wasn't going to teach him how to be a king. Saul wasn't going to teach him what loyalty looks like. David wanted to take him out, but it took a Jonathan to teach David what it was like to be royalty. Are you willing to teach somebody else what it's like to be royalty when they show up at your doorstep stinky? When they got sin issues that are obvious to everyone? Are you willing to say, let me clothe you with your royalty? Let me speak into your life. Let me give you what I have. I heard I think it was a preacher one time say, he said, you know, if you ever go to the store to buy clothes, you know how to tell the difference between expensive clothes and cheap clothes. He said, we just reach over there when it's on the rack and you just kind of wad it up and let it go. If it wrinkles easy, it's cheap. If it's good clothes, it won't hold the wrinkles. I never forgot that. Because you know what? I've met a lot of people in my life that just wrinkle easy. Have you met anybody that wrinkles easy? Maybe you wrinkle easy. Listen, beloved, that is not the garment that you've been given. That is not the robe that you've been given. God hasn't clothed you in righteousness that wrinkles easy. And some of you are so easily offended. Every time I get around you, I just feel like I got to tiptoe and kind of avoid the conversation. Make sure I don't offend that person. Why? Because you wrinkle easy. You've met them. Come on. Guess what? You don't want to be friends with them, do you? And I love it that in Ephesians chapter 5, verse 27, Jesus is talking about the church, and he says, listen, I'm cleaning up my bride. I love my bride. I want her to be without spot or wrinkle. Don't wrinkle. You're not cheap. Don't wrinkle easy. And some of you don't have those deep relationships. Come on, because you have no resilience. Because you wrinkle so easy. You get offended so easy. God is saying, I've given you a garment. It's not cheap. I've given you a garment that's glorious. Don't wrinkle easy.